Hello everyone, my name is Elle in case you didn't already know, and welcome to a Pan That palette update. Alright, so I have been working away on my Burgundy x9 palette. This update is kind of exciting for me, but I feel like not really exciting overall, just because I haven't been using this palette in really exciting ways. But anyway, I do have some pretty good progress to report on, so let's focus on that. So this is what my palette looked like last time. My last update was a little over a month ago. This is what my palette looked like, and this is what my palette looks like now. So as you can tell, I have made a ton of progress, which I am so happy about. I finished Poppy Seed, which is a little bittersweet because I just loved that shade so much. I wish it was available as a single because it was just such a good shadow for in my crease for blending things out. It was just such a good and neutral shade for me. So I'm happy and sad at the same time because it was just a good shade. And I hit pan on Embark, the brown shade in the middle. So that was my biggest goal. That's what I really wanted to accomplish over this past month. And I'm so glad I did it. And it was actually really easy because Embark is a really good shadow. I am wearing Embark on the outer portion of my eye today. The brown, this is all brown. This is all Embark on the outer portion. And then I used Shell Shock from the Vice 2 palette, Urban Decay, it's a silver, and then I used Thunderstruck, which is the one that I repressed in here as my highlight, and that's it, except for some glitter. Very simple, but it looks like you spent a lot of time on your makeup. I love this eye shape because it looks like you spent a lot of time on your makeup, especially when you add falsies, but really it's so easy for me because I've been doing it for so long that I can really easily blend shadows together, even if they just don't normally go together. That's how I've been using Embark, as the outer corner shade with something different on the inner portion. Anyway, I'll go through all of these shades here as I always do and sort of talk about briefly how I use them because I don't really take a lot of pictures. Honestly, it's really hard for me to capture my eye makeup. I've spoken about this a few times. Every now and then I post pictures on Snapchat, so you would have seen variations of the winged sharp-edged shadow with brown in the outer corner way too many times because that's just what I was going for. All right, so let's just go through the palette here. I will just work my way around and explain how I used these shadows. So the first one up here is Thunderstruck. This is one of the repressed shadows. This is from Kat Von D. I just use this as a brow bone and an inner corner highlight. Very easy to do so. It's very loose now that I've repressed it in here, so I'm going through it pretty fast. There's really not a whole lot of usage in here. This will 100% be finished by the next update, which is good because we're running out of time in 2017. It's crazy. Time has just disappeared. Anyway, the next shadow here was Poppy Seed, which I talked about earlier, so I use this in my crease and to blend out other shadows. It just works really well, especially with more neutral, cool toned looks. I really liked using it with the Subculture palette from Anastasia. Next, we have Quarry here, which I'll mention along with Ho. So Quarry is a little bit more gray. Ho is slightly more purple, but they're very similar, and they really look the same on my lid as I complained about last time. So I haven't changed the way I use these either. I use it in my crease. Sometimes I'll put it on the inner portion of my eye. So if I'm doing a matte version of this, so instead of the silver here, I would put Quarry or Ho and blend them together, and it's just a really pretty soft, easy matte eye. For work and stuff, just take off the false eyelashes, subtract the glitter. That's pretty much like my daily face, something like this. It's also, these are good shadows to use sort of on their own for a very soft, slightly cooler toned eye, and then I can use a more dramatic lip, although I have not been feeling the really dramatic lips lately. I've been going as far as brown, but I haven't been really diving into like reds and purples on a daily basis. Just not what I've been leaning towards, but a really dark purple lip looks amazing with these shades, but I'm not crazy about them. I'm really over them. But the good thing is that there's not a whole lot left of them, so I really do think I can finish them soon. Embark, as I mentioned before, a wonderful brown eyeshadow. So again, it's just been variations of this. I've been using the ColourPop Yes Please palette as well as the Anastasia Subculture palette. If you guys watch my Project PanPorn as well, you would have seen that I chose that, and I love pairing shades from those palettes with Embark. So I will use variations of the shimmery shades from the Yes Please palette. I really love the light yellow gold in that palette, as well as the deeper gold shade. I've also been using, I think it's Antiqued from Subculture, the bronzy shades. Of course, various shades of bronze and gold. This is what I really love, but I feel like golds and bronzes work really well with brown eyeshadow as well. And it looks like you spent so much time on your eye makeup when you use like 2 shadows. Plus I'll use whatever else to blend stuff out, but it's just so easy, and it's so good on the daily that I can have my dramatic sort of eye without having to spend a ton of time, which I don't have. So Embark is a really good shadow because it's easy to blend. It does not swatch well. That's the thing I've talked about with these MAC eyeshadows, is that if you just judge them on the swatch, you'd think they were terrible quality, but they just look so good on the eye, and you can really build up to exactly what you want. So it's just my favorite form of eyeshadow, seriously. I just love using these so much. I feel good when I use them because I have so much control, and I feel like the looks that I do turn out really well, and I don't have to fuss and fight with them at all. It's just effortless. Anyway, enough raving. I haven't used #noir again. Surprise, surprise. You know, we'll see if I even decide to finish that or not. Like, I've used it a couple times and I don't like it. I do not like shadows like this. Something for me to keep in mind for future purchases, and I have been, dark shimmery shades like this are generally a no-go. And then Sketch, which I've used a couple of times, but not a whole lot. This deep burgundy shade, it does look really pretty used in the same way as Embark. I've done that quite a few times as well. Sometimes I really blow the eye look out, so I'll smoke out the side. So it's like really like out there. I like that kind of effect with this shape. And then I'll, of course, just do the classic like rounded shape, but there's something about this style that I feel like flatters me more than anything else, which is why I keep going back to it. It's just a favorite. So I know this isn't terribly exciting in terms of creativity, because I just haven't used this palette in very creative ways. It's the other shadows and things I've been reaching for that bring more life to looks. So anyway, I hope this was at least somewhat helpful or interesting to you guys. I like to keep you updated with my Pan That palette, even if it's not super exciting, but I do think the progress is good, having finished Poppy Seed and hitting pan on Embark. I do think I'm in a really good position here. I think Thunderstruck and then Quarry and or Ho can be finished by the next update, which would leave me then with just 3 eyeshadows, and potentially I could have 1.5 left for the new year, and then we'll see if I keep this palette going with what I decide to do for 2018. And I've had a lot of mixed opinions on what I should do in 2018, although I'm pretty committed, I think, to my Mario palette for painting that one. But I'm welcome to all suggestions. I probably will keep my Project PanPorn going. So for those of you who are new and might be a little confused as to why I would focus on finishing one eyeshadow when I have so many, because I did my palette collection and declutter, and a lot of comments on there were like, why are you going to pan something you don't like? But it's because it would be easy for me to do, and if I only have like 1.5 shadows in here, then I feel like it'd be good to keep this going to finish it. I just like to finish things. There's something about unfinished things like palettes I just can't do, which is why I carried over my Vice palette into 2017, the one palette I was painting last year, just because I wanted to finish the whole thing. I just don't want to stop if I don't have to. I would feel really good having a completely empty palette. So we'll see. We'll take it sort of month by month, and I'll reevaluate as I go. I feel like that works best for me with projects, instead of making these huge lofty goals and making these commitments that I can't reasonably keep, and then people get disappointed and I'm disappointed and I get stressed out, and it just doesn't work. So I'm just gonna take it month by month and decide what I'm gonna do later. So I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from there, is that I really do want to finish it, but I also don't want to force myself to use something that I hate. And I haven't really played around with #noir enough to know if it's something that I can commit to finishing that pan, because it'd probably take me a month or more to finish once I get started. So Anyway, that is everything for this update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me on all my panning journeys. I really appreciate it. It's so inspiring, and it keeps me going. Every now and then I have these moments where I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Does anybody care? You know, I don't want to do videos. It feels like, am I really doing anything that matters? And seriously, every single time I think that, I'll get a notification, somebody's like sent me a message or somebody's commented on my videos being like, thank you, I'm so glad I found you because you're inspiring me to use up my makeup and you've changed my perspective on this and changed my perspective on that. And it just, like, it means the world to me. When I say that and those comments make my day, I truly mean it. So anyway, I'm a little emotional about all this. I haven't even mentioned this on my channel yet. I've talked about it on some of my other platforms, but I hit 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and oh my god, what? Thank you guys. I know I just say this to the end, but I am eternally grateful, and I just can't wait to connect with you guys some more. If you don't feel like leaving a public comment, all my other information is in my description box if you want to reach out to me somewhere else. That is, okay, really everything before I get too gushy and emotional. Thank you once again for like the billionth time, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye for now.